y'all. Yes, y'all. You know what it is. It's them kids and wives and 9 to 5s, but we are still married to the games. 128 straight. I'm just saying.
Dude, that's crazy, right? Like,
I mean, I know it sounds like we give ourselves props a lot when it comes to this having Mr. Week thing, but I'm pretty impressed with ourselves.
I think we're fantastic. There you go.
Exactly. It's your boy Gabe Patillo with Tim Router and Timothy Hall, of course. And as always, we are talking games and life and games. Thank you guys so much for being here. We are coming to the end of Snowpocalypse here in Nashville. Things are getting back to normal. The kids are finally back in school. They're not just hanging outside of the mall doing dance battles like from West Side Story.
Yeah, that's right.
Twirling around chains and things like this.
That's right.
So Router, what have you done with yourself?
Oh man, you know, it was funny. So there's so many friends of ours that like went through kind of this, because what was it, like Monday through Wednesday was really the worst days. School was shut down. Pretty much the entire city was shut down. And I think everybody had some cabin fever. And it really, for me, I mean, being a northerner, it's really not that bad. And everybody's got to realize, like,
it's really not that bad.
It is hilariously
really
not bad.
Not that bad. But the problem is, though, because we get ice, like you could be anywhere. Ice is ice, and it's always a lot more dangerous. So you always have to take a lot more care. But man, nobody knows how to plow around this place. I mean,
that's what a buddy of mine talked about. I was like, so where are you from? He was like, Michigan. I was like, oh, so this is all, you used to all this. He was like, I'm used to this when people take care of the roads and salt and plow.
Exactly.
I'm not used to this when you just leave it.
Yeah.
Like, hey, there's ice on the ground. Good luck. Have a good week.
Yeah. Our development was never plowed. And I think they have, you have to pay the city in order to do that. And I'm sure our homeowners association will jump on that. But I think the problem is that Middle Tennessee does not have like a plowing infrastructure. They have salt trucks and they have plows. They just don't know how to use them, I think.
They're just sitting there getting rusted.
It's insane. So I think a lot of people had some cabin fever, but I mean, I still went out to the store if I needed to and, you know, just took my time. And I ran and got the paper from my father-in-law and that kind of stuff because I had to go to Walgreens. And so I didn't really have a whole lot of cabin fever anyway, but other people, I took Piper back to preschool on Thursday because that's when they reopened. And some of the parents there were like, "Oh man, I'm so glad they're back open." They looked all like hair messed up, and they just had like this bags under their eyes, like their kids drove them nuts.
Dude, all I can think about is like what my mom would have done. Like my mom was a single parent raising two boys who really needed school to be in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like she had to work. You know what I mean? She had to work every day.
Yep.
And so if we were out for a week and a half, my mom would have been like, hey,
see ya.
The oatmeal's in the cupboard.
Yep. Go outside and play with something.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's so awesome. Yeah. So I mean, it didn't matter for me. I still work. I still had to work. Lauren closed the store from Monday through Wednesday. But it was fun. We had a good time with Piper. She went ice sledding for the first time, and it was a lot of fun. But yeah,
and I think schools are just in today is the first day back, right?
Yeah,
since last Monday.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, since last Monday. That's
last
crazy.
Monday, and all because of a total accumulation of what 2.5, maybe 3 inches, but most of it is ice.
Know.
I mean, my driveway still isn't completely cleared yet because it's been so cold here. But yeah, man, this place is hilarious when it comes. If it was just like 2 to 3 inches of snow, be one thing, but we always get ice storms here, like always. Yep. This is probably the worst ice storm I've seen in a long time, and I've been here 16 years. So, yeah, it's just weird. You don't want to you want to be careful with that, and it's not that I don't trust my driving. I feel like I'm a pretty responsible and good driver when it comes to ice and snow. It's everybody else that I care because people are crazy when they're out there. They're still like
They're still driving like Tennesseans.
Exactly. So that's what scares me. So it was nice. We were able to just kind of hang. I did a ton of work this past week. Piper got her 3-year checkup, and she was a very good girl at the doctor's office. And apparently she has high cholesterol.
What?
Who the heck knew that a 3-year-old has high cholesterol? So we just have to watch no more mac and cheese for her.
No more bacon.
No more bacon.
Oh man.
So I was like,
leave it up to a router.
I know, figures, right? If she was
have high cholesterol at 3 years old.
Well, if they would say that she was allergic to everything, I'd be like, absolutely, that's totally.
I'm just saying for just something to be wrong. It's just a mutation of whatever you've got.
Of course. Well, I know that my family, and the funny thing is it is all genetics at this point, and I'm realizing like how important genetics is when it comes to creating a new being, and it's funny because like my family has a history of cholesterol. Her family has a history of cholesterol. We both have diabetes in the family.
Yeah.
Not us personally right now. And yeah, so it's just interesting how genetics can really play a factor in this. So they were, so the doctor's office was like, yeah, okay, so her cholesterol is high, so we need to, get rid of all the saturated fats and all that stuff. So I know she eats a lot of mac and cheese. So good luck with that.
Oh, dang it.
And we were like, thank you. But she's actually doing really well. We're trying to, every time we feed her, we're always introducing fruits and vegetables. Whether she eats them is a whole nother ball of wax. But
I know that's right.
It's just crazy, man. So it's like, oh, one more thing we got to worry about. But she's been awesome, and she's been a lot of fun this past week, and that's been good. Work's been kicking my butt, and so just continue to work and do that, and
Gaming. What have you been doing?
Gaming. Okay, let me ask you this, because I didn't read any reviews of the Order 1886.
Right.
I haven't looked at anything. I've really just come into this game just blindfolded and just playing the game. What was the overall review like? What were the main problems that people had with this game?
I didn't look at that much either, but what I hear is people feel like it's really I don't want to spoil anything, gosh, but this is just what the reviews have been saying. People say it's really short, and that the you feel like after you boil it down, you watched more cinematics than you actually spent time playing the game.
Okay.
And with it being that short, that's not good. Okay. And then for some people for some reason, people hate quick time events, QTEs.
Right,
where you have to mash a button real quick, or then mash a button. I love those. I think they're awesome.
Yeah,
really
exactly.
Fun and give a cinematic difference to a section of a game. But
right.
It depends. It can be done poorly.
It can be overdone.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to find out because, I went on my little rant on Friday and posted a video. It wasn't really a rant. I just felt that the Holy Spirit of video games was leading me into a conversation to be like, look, I know we've had all this, I think the problem is that I think a lot of people are being overcritical. And the reason why I say that, because I freaking love this game. This game is beautiful. I don't mind the quick time events because I feel like I'm in a story. And I'm going to say something bold. This could be the next Uncharted.
What?
In my opinion, think about it. The gameplay is very similar to Uncharted. Because we have a lot of quick time events. It's an action adventure thing.
It's cover based.
It's cover based. I mean, I think it has the potential to be another Uncharted down the road if it wants to be.
Well, we have to remember then this, almost 8 years ago. Uncharted 1 came out and was scored well, but it wasn't
a hit. Right.
Yeah,
it wasn't a hit right off the bat.
Too, but we did, any game now, this is what sucks about just time moving forward. When Uncharted came out, Uncharted had never been out.
Exactly.
And you know what I'm saying? So just to even compare something to Uncharted now is like, whoa, don't compare it to Uncharted. That's a great game.
That's why I'm making the statement, because they have the potential. Ready at Dawn has the potential here to franchise something like this. It could be the Order 1887. It could be, whatever.
Yeah.
But
it could be a case where number 2 makes a huge splash like Uncharted did.
Like Uncharted 2. And it brings in, and the reason why I'm saying this is because this game is reminding me a lot of that for some reason. And it's reminded me, like when I first played Uncharted 2, when I first got my PS3, I think this is a great intro game to somebody who may have just bought a PS4, hasn't gamed much in their life, and, just wants something, something action and fun.
Well, and they want something that shows the power of what they just bought.
This game is beautiful. I think it's one of the better looking games out there right now.
For sure.
I really like it. And I think I'm at chapter 6 or so. So I know that things are starting to wind down. I sense that this isn't going to be the longest game in the world, but you know what? I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have a problem with that. So, yes.
As long as you're having fun with the game.
And that was my point on Friday when I posted that video. I'm like, look, I think everybody, and especially the actual video game industry, is super critical of everything that comes out now. There is this level of high expectation, and that's fine. That's your job in the video game industry, to critique and to review and to be like, okay, where are we now versus where we've been, and how are these games comparing up?
And not every game can score well.
Exactly, and not every game will score well, because scores change. So for me, like, this is exactly what I was talking about on Friday. It is all about the gamer. If you like these kind of games, and if you like quick time events, then you're going to have a ball with this game. This game is great. It's beautiful. There's a story. I really feel like I'm playing a movie, and that's fun. I enjoy that.
And I think that's a lot of people's. It's so funny because people definitely nitpick.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And so it's crazy to watch people be like, I don't like that. I feel like I'm just playing a movie. Where like 10 years ago, it's like, oh my gosh, it's like you're playing a movie.
Yeah. That's exactly right. And Gabe, I think you and I have the same styles too, because we both like quick time events. We're very story driven. This has a great story to it. It looks incredible. I'm really enjoying it. And that's all that matters to me. And that's, take it or leave it. But I think they have something here that they can tweak it. Is it going to be game, like I said on my tweet, is it going to be game of the year? No, of course, I don't think so. It looks beautiful. I think, I don't know. I mean, it could be. But to me, it's not like,
it's not that big of a letdown that you're like,
no, it's really not. And
I
waited 8 months for the pre-order, but that's fine. Like it didn't really matter to me. I had other games to play before them anyway. And, now is the time for it to shine. I think the only thing that I could say is that I wish they used, because this was supposed to be more of a title closer to PS4, really, like, this was PlayStation's like major, besides Second Son, like major game. I wish they would utilize the DualShock 4 a little bit more, or just the powers of the PS4. And maybe what Ready Dawn was doing is, hey, this is a powerful machine now that we're using. Let's just make it beautiful. And maybe that's what they focused on, was the actual art and beauty of it, which they totally succeeded, because everything in that game looks great. The shading, lighting, just the settings, they look incredible. I really dig it. I am totally going too long on my week. We could talk more about this when we get to the news, but in my opinion, I'm loving this game. I hope you guys do too, if that's your style.
When you do the item inspection, do you feel like it's time wasted, or do you feel like it's kind of an important element to the game? Because that was one thing that the reviews harped on, is like, yeah, you can pick up and look at items, but it's pointless.
I didn't pick up and look at half the stuff in
you don't have to do it. That's what's so funny.
Yeah,
like, you don't have to look at the weapons. Like,
only if you're trying to platinum it, because the trophies, I'm not going to bother with the trophies. It's just, it's one of those games where if you're not already doing some of that stuff, then you pretty much have to go out of your way to get these trophies. And I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to, play the game the way I like to play. And I like to walk around, and I've been picking up everything, and I haven't listened to a single audio thing, or, I'll read a few things here and there, and that's it. But I didn't do that for BioShock Infinite either.
Right. Exactly.
It's like, so that stuff doesn't matter
I'll tell you
to me.
what, though, I really wish that you could have listened to the audio while you're playing the game. To have to go to another screen and just sit there while it plays and have the writing up, I was like, oh gosh.
But they kind of did that with Infinite too, though, with those like little machines that you look into.
Yeah, but you could start playing them and still walk around in the world.
That's true. Yeah.
You have
that's
to
true.
Stop what you were doing. And
so anyway, that's my rant for this morning. I hope you enjoyed it. So I'm loving the game. I'm excited to keep going. I'm sure it'll be close. It was funny. Somebody compared it to Rise, because that was kind of a letdown. That was short, and I freaking enjoyed Rise. So I'm biased because those are the kind of games I like to play. So there it is. That's my week. It's been good, and I'm enjoying this game.
I think that game, honestly, is going to be profitable enough for them to do a number 2, and that's why it's so interesting, because they can take all this criticism and feedback and turn it into a great second installment of the
I
game.
mean, it's there, man.
So,
I haven't completed it. I don't know the ending or anything, but from what I've seen so far, there's a lot of character development, and not just the main character too. You see some character development in other characters around you. I mean, this does have the potential to be, to be kind of another Uncharted.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you heard it here.
Yeah, I know that's right. Goodness
Whether you
gracious.
agree or not, that's fine. But hey, that's the kind of the game style that I like, and I see a lot of similarities in it.
Yeah,
nice. Halsifer.
Last week was ridiculous. Can we just come to that conclusion as far as the snow?
It was a little it was a little apocalyptic, wasn't it?
Yeah, because
people were
just
freaking out.
Yeah, people were like, well, and also too, like people were giving up. They're like, I don't need this job. I don't need this. Blah, blah. Like, I'm done. You don't need to go to school. We're done.
Mass hysteria. That is ridiculous. Awesome. I don't need this job.
I don't need this job. That's hilarious.
So much so, like, not like on my street, seemingly like everybody's driveway is sloped and nobody wanted to clear their driveways.
Yeah,
so everybody,
a
lot of people were parking in the street.
In defense, man, like I actually tried and chop up some of that ice. Man, you have to use an actual hard, like square nose shovel to even break some of it. And after 2 minutes, I'm like, nah, forget it. I'm just gonna let this ride out.
That's for sure.
Yeah, because it's crazy because it stayed below freezing for all 3 of those days. So it was crazy.
We cleared ours, and I'll this is kind of a super techie, super
is this
hack.
I was going to say, is this a life hack moment?
We cleared our driveway. We used hot water. So,
then you had to work really quick, didn't you?
You're saying it's as easy as hot water.
Exactly.
That's like saying it's as easy as the sun.
Exactly. We used the opposite of what was on the ground, cold water. And we used hot water.
One person pouring, one person taking the shovel and breaking it up.
There you go.
We had it cleared in like, I don't know, 30 minutes.
Nice.
Maybe 40.
Well played,
We
sir.
had to clear it because our driveway is pretty steep and we park in the garage.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it was better that way because this weather, I could see it being pretty terrible on like people's cars. So
that is so funny.
So Saturday, and as I mentioned, like people were parking in the street. Saturday, we have a neighbor who's like across the street diagonally from us.
Mm-hmm.
They parked their gigantic SUV on our side of the road on top of the ice. Of and on Saturday, it started to rain. The ice got a little bit slicker, actually, which was crazy. And that SUV like moved a little bit throughout the day, but we didn't realize it till it was like really late at night. So basically, the SUV started probably about, I don't know, like 8 feet up the road.
Wow.
And then we, throughout the day, like we saw it like probably halfway through the day, we were like, oh, it's like, it's moved by about 4 feet. But we thought like, oh, they probably just like left and came back and reparked or something like that. And then about midnight, we looked outside and it was about an inch from our mailbox. We were like, okay, this thing is definitely sliding.
Geez.
There's no way that they would do that.
Wow.
It might have been like 6 inches from our mailbox. And I was like, yeah, I know this might have been by like actually 1 or 2 a.m. I was like, it is way too late to go get them up. I'm wondering if I should.
Right.
We were like, well, it hasn't
hit the mailbox.
Yeah, it hasn't hit the mailbox yet, but like keep an eye on it. So we got up in the morning and like I said, it was about an inch from our mailbox. And I was like, nope, this needs to be moved now. Get it out of here.
Yeah.
The same thing happened to us, except with our own car. Yeah. Like we parked in the driveway, like normal. And I guess the left 2 wheels were on ice. Like, I'm just pulling up with the whole thing's kind of ice.
Yeah.
And maybe I didn't park like perfectly in the little box that our car had made from being there overnight.
Mm-hmm.
Went to bed, woke up the next morning, and my car was halfway down my driveway.
That's so weird.
I was like, did somebody try to steal our car and then thought that? Never mind. Yeah, forget
Just
it.
kidding.
It's too cold out here for all this.
Yeah, just kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
So I guess
too
that's what
cold
happened
for
to us
crime.
too. Yeah.
Can we agree that Saturday was just a miserable day, though? I mean, it was
Yes.
pouring rain. It was cold.
dude.
It was gross.
The last week's been
I
awful.
woke up Saturday and I was like, yeah, it feels like the weather's coming. I was like, I woke up a little later, so I was like, I'm not gonna try to go out and get my game today, get my pre-order.
Oh,
that
that's
was
right. Yeah.
Yep.
So I ended up picking it up last night, but I played, I think I'm a little over halfway through Second Son, and I'm really enjoying it.
Man, that's awesome. I'm so glad you are.
I'm not,
Yeah, that's great.
I'm not always like a huge fan of open world games, and I know this was like early in the PS4's launch cycle, but it's a really good game. It's really not a game to sleep on.
It really isn't. I know it's good,
It's
right?
not. It's great.
Yeah, like I kind of feel like since it was a launch game, like I guess some people would think that there's some things wrong with it that won't be with other games.
Of course, yeah.
But I mean, I can't really find anything to nitpick on. It's a pretty good open world game, and it's very enjoyable for coming from somebody who doesn't typically enjoy open world games. So,
and I always tell people, like, if you've just bought a PS4 for the first time, get that game because it utilizes all the features, all the new features of the PS4 so well, and especially with the DualShock 4. It is just so much fun. That game is great when it comes to handling all the new features of the PS4.
yeah, it's crazy to see that they had done that almost a year ago at this point, and nobody else is really
nobody's
using
done it since.
No one's using it.
Yeah,
no one's using it at all.
Tell you what, them character animations look good.
Yeah, they do.
Especially
Checks in the mail.
Especially the main character. All right.
That's right. All right.
Yeah, other than that, like I said, picked up the order last night, and I'm interested to hopping into it. I would have been a lot more psyched to get into it had I not watched the video reviews.
Oh,
yeah.
They panned it really bad.
Yeah, they did.
I didn't watch any of the reviews just because I knew that it was. Because I mean, you have to think, for those that haven't looked at any reviews, the average rating is probably a 6.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like what would whether it's working on a 10-point scale or 5-point scale, like it probably rounds out to about there.
Yeah.
And you're like, really? Like for somebody who's been looking forward to it for a year, you're like, how a 6?
Yep.
Yeah.
But I think people being overly nitpicky for sure.
Yeah. When I saw those tweets of like people putting memes up that have like, don't buy the order 1886 or, don't order the 1886, I was like, oh man, really?
Yeah, man. It's crazy.
Anyway, we can talk more about that later.
Yeah. I'll probably break into that next week after I finish up Second Son. But as I mentioned, I'm really enjoying it. I didn't really know much about the story going into the game, so it's very interesting. I didn't realize that Delson was like a Native American character.
Yeah, isn't it cool?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's why we said, you don't have to go back to do any of the other infamous games because it's a totally
different story. Yeah.
Totally different story.
It's so funny. It's so funny that he's Native American. Only because he doesn't look Native American to me. And so he's like really Native American, like all my other white friends are Native American. Like, oh yeah, my grandmother was a third Cherokee. You're like, oh, get out of here, man.
Right.
That's really funny. I'm glad you're enjoying it though.
Mr. Patillo, sir.
Yayo.
What is going down?
So it's the last podcast of Black History Month 2015.
Oh man!
So I thought I'd end it off like this. This is not date exclusive, but a guy named Gerald Lawson, also went by Jerry Lawson, in the mid 70s, was the first guy to develop a home gaming console that utilized interchangeable cartridges. African American guy invented the game cartridge. Back in the day, the game was just built into the board usually. And so they thought that gaming systems couldn't even have their own microprocessors. And so to utilize being able to swap in and out games, and he did it. And it was called the Fairchild Channel F. Fairchild Channel F. Obviously, it didn't have half of the popularity that Atari, later did and stuff like that. But he's the guy who's credited as inventing the game cartridge.
That is really cool.
That's pretty awesome.
Jerry Lawson passed
will you
away.
please pass the Fairchild, please? I'd like to play another game.
Exactly, yeah. Oh, can you pass the paddles, can you? And so he passed away in 2011, but happy Black History Month, y'all.
Yeah, buddy.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I knew about the Fairchild. I just didn't know like the story behind who invented
that's really
it
cool.
or anything.
Yeah, it's kind of cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
The biggest news for me doesn't come from me, but on Friday, Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao finally announced that they're fighting in May.
Yes,
and I cannot freaking wait,
dude. We have to have like an MTTG party or something. I'm
asking off school that day.
Seriously, I'm not a huge boxing fan, but I recently worked on Manny Pacquiao's movie, his like documentary on him.
Oh, nice.
Became a huge fan of him as well, and like saw like how many people want this fight to happen, and now it's finally happening, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be great.
I cannot believe it. I'm a mediocre boxing fan as well. Like, you know, we've definitely like on the road will pay-per-view the big fights. Like we'll buy them and watch them on the road and stuff like that.
Sure.
So I watch it that much enough to be really excited when they announced on Friday that they were fighting.
Let's just hope Jenny doesn't go in early.
Oh, well, that's what sucks. I want her to go in early because the fight is May 2nd. Our due date is May 2nd.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
So I'm like, shoot, how am I going to pull this off?
Oh my God.
Be like, hey, so do you need anything? Let me go get you some ice chips. She's like, you were gone for 4 hours. What?
I had to freeze them. What do you want me to do?
Exactly. What you think? Ice just makes itself? Ice don't grow on trees. So anyway, really excited about that.
I'm excited for that too, man. I'm glad you brought that up.
Gaming wise, it's probably been the most diverse gaming week I've had in a long time. Played a bunch of Bravely Default still on my 3DS. Loving that. It's great. It definitely scratches that itch.
What games would you like compare it to? Like, I know each Final Fantasy game is really different.
Yep.
So like, which one would you probably compare
out of the
it to
one
the
that
most?
out of the ones that I've played? I don't know, because I haven't played that many Final Fantasies. But it's definitely gives that old school JRPG. Don't ever explain this game to anybody because they'll look at you crazy kind of feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like,
isn't that all JRPGs?
Yeah, exactly. But in the sense of where like with Final Fantasy VII, you can still kind of get away with explaining it to people because there's no like fairies or, you know, any kind of weirdness like that people are like, what now? But this one like has a little fairy that follows you guys around and stuff like that, and you know the wind has stopped blowing in this one city, and it's all due to the Vestal, and so you're like, huh? You know what I mean? But
when was the term like JRPG? Like, when did that become so widespread? Because if you think about it, back in the day, like Router, when Final Fantasy VII came out, was that 97?
Yeah, 96 or 97.
It was just an RPG. It wasn't RPG.
It's when the West started doing RPGs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well,
like
I mean, when
stuff
the
like
West started doing more popular mainstream RPGs, I think.
Yeah, like when Mass Effect and all those kind of games got real big, they considered those Western RPGs.
Do you think that it came about because a lot of the companies making these games were from Japan? It has that anime style to it, so they just kind of threw it in as a JRPG instead?
I think I just think that when Mass Effect and those kind of games came to the forefront and started getting really popular, it felt so different than the Japanese RPGs. And so I think that's where you kind of threw on the title, like the JRPGs got.
Well, and then those games that Router, those like more mainstream games like Mass Effect.
Right.
Skyrim would be considered a WRPG.
Yeah, they do refer to them at some points as a Western RPG, but when they're listed as classification, like on our websites and in our stores and stuff, they'll be considered just RPG.
Right.
Whereas JRPG
so it's like a subclass of it.
Yeah. JRPG is so different that they had to give it a different moniker.
Yeah.
Because if you had a standard mainstream gamer used to play games like, Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy VIII, because those were just those were just
They were
RPGs at
right.
that time. But it's changed so much for the mainstream American gamer,
Right.
that at this point, RPGs that come from Japan are just JRPG, because they're letting them know like this is completely different than what you may be used to as a mainstream
Right.
gamer.
And it's probably similar to like anime, I would guess. Like, I don't know the histories of anime,
Well,
but
that's the
I
thing.
would think that
Yeah.
they started off as just cartoons, but when they came west, we wanted to call it something really badly.
Well, that's what I compare it to as well, because, you know, I've seen anime before. I'm not a huge anime fan. I appreciate it, but like these games seem very similar to anime, and that's maybe why it was rolled into JRPGs. Plus, you said fairies and vestals within that descriptive sentence.
Exactly.
So
That's my point.
Everybody's just like, yeah, it's definitely a JRPG.
and they're just, you know, Western RPGs are just way more gritty and, you know, way more like,
weird.
Yeah, just so different. Anyway, so
no, I love it. That's awesome.
Been playing that, really like it. Been playing some Dr. Luigi and some Smash Brothers on the Wii U. Love it. Picked up First Light, which is the DLC for Second Son.
Nice.
Been playing that because it was free. January on January PS Plus. Collecting everything. Love it. It feels like I'm back home. You know what I'm saying? It feels like, yeah, here we go. I know how to play this.
I love that.
Just because the controls are so good in that in those games that I feel like it's pick up and play. And then last night I went way out of my way from a meeting I had last night to get. There was only 2 copies in all of Tennessee of the Order 1886 at Redbox.
Oh, nice!
Wow.
So I went and picked that up somewhere in deep Brentwood.
You're right.
Yesterday, like the Nolensville, Antioch, Brentwood part of town, and started playing that and streamed about 45 minutes of it last night, and then it's up on our YouTube, and so that's a let's play, our first like official Married to the Games let's play part 1, the Order 1886.
There you go.
Seeing what the fuss is all about.
Nice.
And something else probably happened, but we've gone forever on this part of the show already.
The past 2 weeks, man, it's been 30 minutes in.
I know. We're like, and then what happened was,
oh my God.
I will say that we started, we've been talking about, obviously, about potty training and doing that whole thing, and
party training.
Party training. Party Rock is in the house tonight.
That's right.
So last night and 2 nights ago and last night were the first nights that we let Amara sleep in just her undies.
Nice.
And the first night did not go good. There was urine everywhere. But I'm just kidding. But,
there's a flood.
But like, we got her up last night before we went to sleep and let her go to the bathroom. And then I just heard the toilet behind me flush. So I think last night she didn't have any accidents. And so, holy crap, we might be done with diapers coming up pretty soon.
Wow.
So just in time for another baby to get here and poop all over everything. But
I was going to say, just in time for the next one.
Yeah, she's just going to hand it off, be like, hey, you crap on stuff now.
And do it in here.
Yeah,
do
exactly.
It in this.
It's
that's
exciting.
Awesome.
So,
yeah, that's cool.
Anyway, okay. That's it.
Wow. Oof. All right, we're done.
And
everybody. No one's listening now. They're like, man, these guys talk about themselves way too much. Move on.
Fast forward to 34 minutes into the podcast. We'll actually talk about some video games. Router, you got it?
Yeah.
Then let's do it.
All right, we got some new releases this week. Starting off, Resident Evil Revelations 2 for the Xbox 360, PS3, PS4, Xbox One.
There you go.
We got some Middle Earth Shadow of Mordor DLC.
That was a story.
The Bright Lord comes out.
The Bright Lord.
The Bright Lord. That was very good. Xbox One, PS4, PC. Dragon Ball Xenoverse for the Xbox One, Xbox 360, PS4, and PS3.
Gabe, can we get an orc saying it sure is cold out here? I'm sorry, that was just bugging me.
Yeah. This is cold out here.
There you go. Well done.
There you go.
Well done.
Very
Dynasty.
Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, nice.
Okay, Dynasty Warriors 8 Empires for the Xbox
I cannot
One,
believe they're still making those games.
For PS3. I know. These last two, I'm like, oh, well, these are still around.
Dynasty Warriors 8. Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
It must not cost them that much money to make those games anymore. They're like copy, paste, hero, make new enemies. There you go.
And there you have it. There's Hall's game making right there.
Exactly.
So that's pretty much it for new releases. It will be pretty slow for a little while now, I'm sure. The charts are not out. So for this past
come
week,
on, VG charts.
I know, right? But I figured we do top selling games so far in 2015. I thought this was interesting.
Oh, okay.
Starting with number 10, GTA 5 for the Xbox One. Number 9, Super Smash Brothers for the Nintendo 3DS.
Wow.
Number 8, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare for the 360. Number 7, Dying Light for the Xbox One.
Gosh, that quick, man. Lord have mercy.
And in its debut. Number 6, Assassin's Creed Unity.
No.
For the Xbox One, sorry.
Yeah, that's the bundle.
Yep. It's definitely the bundle. Number 5, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare for the PS4.
Okay.
Number 4, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare for the Xbox One.
Oh,
Number 3, Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire for the 3DS. Number 2, GTA 5 for the PS4. I think that's the bundle too, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then number 1, which is pretty powerful, Dying Light for the PS4.
I thought that might be the case.
It took over. I mean,
that game's pretty good, eh?
246,000 units
so far
for this. And GTA 5 for the PS4 just was behind it by 20,000 units with 221. So
and that game is old.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So that's pretty amazing.
That's really
But
cool.
you know what's funny is most of these titles is exactly what I would have said for last week's charts anyway, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, Dynasty Warriors 8.
Yeah, there you have it.
I can't believe it.
How many Dynasty Warriors games have there been? Because if you think about it, they had a lot of like Game Boy / DS /
It's like Street Fighter. Like it says Street Fighter 5, but let's not get it twisted. There's like 35 of these games out here.
That's awesome.
Nice.
I thought it was really sad. I was looking up some used games the other day because I'm thinking about getting into collecting some Super Nintendo games again.
No, get it.
And I thought it was really sad that I bought Street Fighter 2 Turbo in 97. I bought it brand new for like $20. And right now it's going used for about $20.
Wow.
Nice.
That's the Honda of video games.
There it is.
It's funny how like video games like or console games like the cartridge-based console games, like how they kind of went through a dip, like pre-eBay dip, like where they got down to probably $1 at a yard sale.
Cheap.
And ever since like the rise of eBay and everybody uses eBay now, like, you know, everything
market value back.
Yeah, everything that is cartridge based has just gained its value all back. At this point, I don't know if it's going to go up anymore. I doubt it, but you know, you're pretty much going to be paying what you paid for these games back in the day. Right. I mean, like even if you want to get a copy of, I think I might have looked up Link to the Past. I think it was maybe $30. I don't remember. It's just crazy to think about paying that for an old cartridge-based game, but
wow,
right. That's great. Well, give us something else, Hall.
We got Dying Light at the end of last month, but the UK is getting it this coming Friday,
right.
And they have a ridiculously priced special edition.
I'm sure they do.
Dubbed the My Apocalypse Edition, this bundle includes a custom-built zombie fortification cabin.
What? Wait, what?
What?
Yes. It's like basically almost like an outhouse / mini house, I guess.
Some assembly required.
Sure.
Oh my God.
Wow.
But it's by a company called Tiger Log Cabin, so I imagine like they custom build like mini homes and stuff like that. It's worth about $100,000. So.
What?
Yeah.
So wait, they come to your house and build this thing, or is there some assembly required?
It says custom built, so I'm imagining that you get to provide some direction.
How it's $100,000?
the home is worth 100,000, but the bundle is actually 250,000 euros.
I'm sorry,
which
what?
is $387,000. Let me go through the rest of the stuff it includes here. So you get the cabin,
right?
Zombie-Avoidance parkour lessons. So I hope you're in shape.
No
if you buy this.
way.
Oh my God.
Your face in the game as the protagonist. A trip to the developer
cool.
Techland in Poland.
Wait. Your face as the protagonist. The game's out already.
I think you get to probably
DLC.
have it as DLC. Yeah,
Has to be.
That's dope.
Night vision goggles, adult diapers.
Heyo.
That's for Gabe.
4 signed steelbox editions of the game, 2 nice sets of Razer headphones, and a life-size figurine so you can scare people, I guess.
Oh my Lord.
That
Who
is crazy.
Was the guy how did that conference call or just that meeting go when they were like, okay.
That meeting went, some sucker will buy this, so let's make it.
Yeah, pretty much.
That sounds like a lot of work, though. Parkour lessons, zombie-avoidance parkour lessons.
Just there's our title.
The craziest thing.
That is our title right there. You cannot get any more whacked out than that right now at 6:00 in the morning.
That is next level. What in the world?
Avoidance parkour. Guys, think about that. What that says: zombie avoidance parkour
lessons.
That is incredible.
Oh,
I love it,
dude.
So I was trying to find the value in everything. $387,000. I was like, well, where's the rest of the value if the cabin's worth about 100?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So I'm guessing they're valuing those zombie survival parkour lessons as like $10,000.
$10,000. I got an idea. Why don't we all just dress up as zombies and then have our kids just run away from us? There's your lesson. Just run away.
Gosh.
That's all you got to do. Oh.
There you go.
Dude, that is crazy.
What is involved?
That's literally the craziest thing I've ever heard.
Oh my gosh.
Why do I feel like zombie survival avoidance parkour lessons will look eerily similar to just parkour lessons?
Or just hide and seek or tag. Because that's pretty much all you have to do.
Not even that. Like parkour is something that you work up to. It's not something that you teach somebody.
You just do all of a sudden?
You have to feel it. You have to,
Well, you have to, you have to work your way up because you have to start small and,
I wonder how many lessons come in the package.
One.
I don't know.
I wonder if that guy's just sitting by his phone like, all right, somebody's got to buy this thing. Come on, baby.
It's going to happen.
Come on, zombie avoidance.
I've been training for years on this.
Like, I wonder if that's like weapon in hand. Like, say you have a machete. A machete.
Oh my Lord!
Some running lessons on a wall. That is
kind of
really
reminds me of those Assassin's Creed parkour videos where they're like, okay, let's dress up like the character and let's get weapons and let's try to do this legit.
But they're not calling it zombie survival avoidance parkour or whatever. That's just parkour with guys dressed up.
Oh my gosh! Well, thanks to Hall. Unfortunately,
Hall.
the podcast only goes down from here.
We've jumped the shark.
Yeah,
it can't go up. That's
it can't go up from here. Anyway, we appreciate you guys listening. Twitter.com/MTTGcast.
That was great.
Let's write that down. Episode 128. Jump the shark.
That's it.
Man.
Oh, thank you, Hall. That was amazing. Absolutely amazing. Where do you go from there?
Yeah, Hall, you do another story. I don't want to follow that.
Let's see. Entertainment company Lionsgate.
There we go.
Producer of films and TV shows. You probably know them from Orange is the New Black, Mad Men, and the Hunger Games movies.
Mm-hmm.
They've made an investment in Telltale Games to create something called a super show.
Oh, great.
A super show is episodic content with scripted story elements and game mechanics, which to me is really no different than what Telltale already makes. So I'm guessing that like Lionsgate in making an investment in Telltale is like, we need to give this a name because people on the television side aren't going to understand what this is. So let's just call it Super Show.
Well, and isn't it what they're doing with Quantum Break?
Yeah, it's pretty similar.
Isn't Quantum Break already trying to do that?
Yeah.
And other things have tried to do it before and not succeeded at all. But
Well, I don't think it succeeds at all because I think they end up not pleasing anyone by trying to sidestep.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
The other option is that Lionsgate just wants to kind of buy into it so that they can get their writers into the Telltale Games series as well.
I think that's what it is.
I think it's all a ruse just to say, hey, we're buying part of this so that we can bring some writers in and create more of this type of content, which is great. I think it's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Let Telltale be Telltale, though, for crying out loud.
Well, so far they've announced that they're teaming up for like new original IP from Lionsgate, which is kind of sad because I was thinking like this would be the perfect avenue for like a Mad Men game. Because like in the past, I've talked about, Mad Men is so popular that you would think that by now they would have come up with something that they could do on a console or something gaming to appease those fans. And I think that a Telltale style game really works for that. I mean, we've seen that with The Walking Dead where they created their own kind of story. And it was much more successful than the actual Walking Dead game that they tried to make. Not Telltale, but a different
the other one.
company.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So I think that that's what Walking Dead fans wanted was like a game that Telltale could make like that. So
yeah.
I think the formula worked, and I think that it's going to be interesting to see what Lionsgate does with Telltale. Telltale is taking on so many projects. I don't know how they balance it all out.
It's pretty amazing, and it kind of scares me a little bit, though, because I fear that the quality is not going to be there. And so far, people have already said it's not there with the Game of Thrones series. I hear the Tales from the Borderlands is supposed to be great, too, but I haven't even played them yet.
Yeah, me neither.
So I don't know. We'll see.
It looks like Games with Gold for March, it has been announced. 360ers with Xbox Live Gold membership will be able to get Tomb Raider.
Wow.
From the 1st through the 15th, and BioShock Infinite the 16th through the 31st. That's banging.
Nice.
Xbox One, we get Rayman Legends for the whole month. Yeah, a little bit of a letdown. It looks like I Draw a Red Box is going to stay free throughout the month.
I would say check out Rayman. It's not a game for everyone as far as like the playability and the mechanics and stuff, but it is a really good looking game, so it's fun to watch. I think I beat it on Vita. Maybe is that where that I played?
Yeah.
That?
Oh yeah.
Or did I play Origins? I don't remember which one I played. I don't remember which one I played, but yeah, those are fun games, fun little platformer games. So the internet was a buzz, I feel like, with this whole Henry Kramer, the 5th grader who got his Destiny characters deleted while using SharePlay. Did you guys see that?
No.
I heard about
the stranger in the Destiny world was like, hey, you want me to show you a glitch? And he was like, yeah. And the story goes, he gives him SharePlay access and some reason leaves the room. It's really, the story is pretty, it's got a bunch of twists and turns in it, but for some reason leaves the room, comes back and sees that the guy's deleted his 31 level warlock and his 20 something other character. 2 out of his 3 characters has been deleted. And apparently this kid breaks down and starts crying. 5th grader.
That stinks.
Yeah, it stinks. It sucks, but it's one of those things where I don't know if the story's real or not. Like nobody's come out and said it's fake, but like the story as to who the kid is that did it is like really convoluted. Like some guy was on a bunch of pain meds and his buddies were coming over and chilling with him, but he doesn't know, like he thinks one of his buddies did it. It's like this, it's this weird, like twisty turny thing, but I don't know if Bungie's just doing this to teach a lesson or whatever, but they won't give him his stuff back. The kid, they're like, listen, your stuff is gone, but they said they're going to try to make it to where regrettable decisions like this can be reversed.
You know what? I'm sorry. That's just idiotic. Why would you invite somebody to share, which means you have to be friends with them in the first place? If you don't know this guy, then don't be friends with him. Or like
no,
if you don't,
he doesn't know him. The 5th grader didn't know he was a stranger to him.
But he okay. So he gets an invite to share play from somebody that he doesn't know and says, yeah, and then leaves the room.
That's why I'm not understanding.
That's Nah, I don't buy that.
Yeah.
You know what? Guess what? You get to start Destiny over again.
Because you didn't play outside, you didn't learn that when you go to the
exactly.
basketball court, you don't let somebody else use your ball.
Stranger freaking danger, people.
Stranger danger.
Stranger danger. Come on now.
Seriously.
Also, in a weird turn of events, Kanye West said he's making a video game based on his song Only One, which is I think the song he did on the Grammys and SNL.
It'll be a JRPG.
Exactly. He said he's been working on it for 6 months, and the idea is, quote, the idea is that it's my mother going through the gates of heaven, and you've got to bring her to the highest gate of heaven by holding her to the light. Okay. I have no idea what that means. It's probably some genius talk that's over my head.
Or it goes straight to the discount bin.
I know you're tired.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yes,
that's well played, sir.
Nice. Hall, give us something else, brother.
Oh, buddy. Activision might be bringing back Guitar Hero soon. A few days after it was announced that Rock Band may soon see the light of day, Activision announced that Guitar Hero may return as soon as this year.
That'd be quick.
I still don't know and understand how it all fell apart, because that game was so popular, and like it's in Chuck E. Cheese, for crying out loud.
I know that's right.
The reason that it fell apart is because retailers got sick of plastic instruments sitting on the shelf. Those things took up way too much.
Well, that's true. It's an inventory issue. I'll give him that. But then change it to online. I mean, I know it'd be more of a pain, but like purchase a game and it comes in the mail and whatever. I don't know.
Rock Band was such a hit with the casual gamer that I think that selling it online I don't think they'd see near as much activity.
Probably not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It sounds like Activision was kind of wanting this to be a surprise, but perhaps like the Rock Band announcement just spurred like, oh, well, crap, now we got to say something because we've been working on this thing and we want people to know that we're me too,
right.
Strike while the iron's hot. It takes like a good few days to get a press release approved. So this to me, like I said, is a Me Too comment where when they saw the news come out from Harmonix, they were like, all right, draft up a press release. We got to go live in a few days. So they said that they would bring the franchise back if it made sense in this generation. Like they said that, I don't know, what was it, 4 years ago or 5 years ago? They said like, when the next gen comes around, if it makes sense to bring Guitar Hero back, we're going to try it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what they were planning on doing this year. So
I have their solution. Ready for it? You don't need any plastic guitars or any inventory like that. Air Guitar Hero.
With the Kinect and the PlayStation Eye.
With the Kinect and the PlayStation. Boom, check is in the mail, baby. Bring it. Come on now.
You just gave that idea away for free.
I know. Dang it. Sorry.
Oh, man.
I'll take that back. Just whoop.
Yeah, all our best ideas are free.
I know, right?
Steve Bristow, who Nolan Bushnell called one of the world's most powerful gaming pioneers, has passed away, and he was an Atari employee who helped birth the Atari 2600 and also worked in their coin-op arcade division. So, man, I think we're going to see more of this as gaming gets older. The pioneers are going to start passing away, and that's really sad because we're so grateful for these guys and the jump that they took and the chances they took.
Yeah.
Because gaming wasn't a thing. You know what I'm saying? So to bring it home, people didn't know how to bring it home yet.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, hey, rest in peace, my brother.
Respect.
I'm glad that they, jumped out there and took the risk. Smell-O-Vision hasn't worked out yet, so they didn't know that gaming was going to work, and it did. So.
It really did. It's just crazy. Well, every week we ask you guys a question, and last week was no different. I don't remember exactly what we asked you guys. It's early. Something about taking games back. Oh, yeah. When was the last time you were so disappointed that you took a game back? I was talking about taking Evolve back, which I did do. And I actually, I was going to get a game. And then I looked over and saw that Best Buy had the Xbox headphone adapter in.
No,
And I was
finally.
like, hey.
Yeah, get that, man.
Let me get that.
That took me almost a week to get.
Exactly. So I got that. So thank you, Router, for buying me the headphone adapter for Xbox
of course,
One
sir.
with some money still in waiting to get spent on something else.
There you go. You're welcome.
Lane Storm over at the forums. I attempted to take Assassin's Creed Unity back to Best Buy, but they refused to take it. I'd like to say I'm over it, but I don't make a habit of lying. So he's not over it. I get you.
He's not. Yep.
Tigsta over the forum. I returned a Metal Gear game that came bundled with my PS3. I think it was Metal Gear Solid 4, Sons of the Patriots. I couldn't get into it at all. Haley Miller on the forums, in a surprising shock, said Destiny.
Wow. Okay.
So I guess it just didn't hang
I
on
ain't
to
mad
her.
at you.
Like, yeah. I know you're not.
No, I mean, but I wouldn't go so far as to take it back. But
I gave it a real try.
Yeah, you gave it a college try, but it's clearly that's one of those instances where the co-op multiplayer kind of thing is that's just not their thing. So there you go.
Yeah. Andrew Lee the second, yeah, I know, right?
We have a second.
Exactly. At Randy the Dark Soul on Twitter said, Turek for the Xbox 360. I didn't think it was possible to further ruin a franchise. I was wrong.
Nice.
Luke Eisenhower at Antipod 51. Dark Souls, borrowed, not purchased. Rage quit after playing for 3 hours and making 15 minutes of progress.
Nice.
Nope.
Yep. That's why I don't play that game either.
Let's see. Conquer. This is John T. Olivia at Joe Jalivia on Twitter. Conquer live and reloaded on original Xbox. How can an Xbox game be more censored and slower than a Nintendo 64 game? Disgust.
Nice.
So thank you guys. I'm glad I'm not the only one. It made me feel not as bad when I saw you guys' answers. I was like, yeah, other people have done it too. So thank you so much. You guys know where to find us. Facebook.com/married to the games, Twitter.com/MTTGcast, YouTube.com/married to the games. We're putting our first let's play up there today with the Order 1886. I figured I'd choose a game that people said wasn't that long. And so
there you go.
That's why we're doing that one. And Halsifer?
Rate us on iTunes so you can get our special My Apocalypse edition.
So Hall can teach you zombie survival avoidance parkour.
Yeah, it's about a 3-minute podcast. So.
All about surviving this zombie apocalypse.
That's amazing.
We should do one. Well, I warm this thing up here. Let's get into some questions.
Let's start with email. Travis. Hey guys, love the show. I was wondering what your thoughts are on stores like GameStop taking in and reselling used games and its impact on the industry. I, for one, do not support used games if they are fairly new titles.
Ooh, me and Travis went back and forth on Twitter about this. I remember this.
Did you? Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Let's say 3 months or newer. I want the money for games to go to the people who made them and not just someone that facilitates a place to trade them in.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on this issue? I don't think you can use the recycling excuse anymore since most recently released titles are also available digitally. Thanks again, guys. Yeah, I mean, we have touched on this before, right? I mean, developers will still make their money when you purchase day one.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they're going to make their money. The stores like GameStop and that kind of stuff, they're going to make their money when they're trading, and
that's the only time they make their money.
And that's the only time, and that is going to continue to fade as games come out more digitally.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see a bright future in it for GameStop. I mean, I don't know. I could be wrong, but I think that we all know that digital is not the norm, like the default for a lot of people. I still like to go and purchase the actual disc instead of downloading it digitally. That's not, I don't think that's going away quite yet, but it's definitely, I think we may see that. And I'd love to see some numbers last year of revenue generated from used games, trade-ins, all that stuff. I
want to see digital numbers too. I think the reason they never release them is because they're like, they're
look probably
real
scared
sad.
to. Yeah. They're probably scared.
Because they don't want people to think that digital is a inferior option at this point.
Right.
I think we are the worst podcast to ask this question because we're not in the game industry. Since we're not working our 9 to 5s in this industry, we still like physical titles. Whereas if gaming was my bread and butter, of course I'd want people to buy digitally because I'd be like, well, that supports me. They can't trade it in, so it's not putting used copies out there for people to buy. I mean, you know, movie studios and music have gotten used to this kind of thing. Like music was impacted significantly by used sales during the 80s and the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
And you can kind of argue that the music industry is in a weird place now, but I mean, used sales are built into what you do.
Yeah.
You just build in that number to what you do. Like, if you want to support the developer, by all means, buy it digitally. Or like Router and I do, we buy it physical copies, and most of the time we just keep the game.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, you're still supporting the developer in both ways.
I was saying to Travis, I feel like as much as, of course, I want the developers to flourish and everything like that, but I think we have to, and I know that selling their game, that's what they do. You know what I mean? But I think that used stuff, it's hard for me to hate on buying and selling used when we buy and sell used like everything else.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When we buy cars used, when we buy houses used.
It's a standard convention now.
Yeah, it's just standard convention. Toyota doesn't get money when I go and buy a Toyota from somebody. But I also think it's part of owning things. You know what I'm saying? I own something and I can sell it. And then I can go, hopefully, buy something else new.
It's also marketing for them, because if I like a game and I trade it in, somebody else, or, and trade it in for something else, I'm getting something new that I want, and kind of relinquishing that other game so somebody else can pick that up who may not have played that game before and may enjoy it, and then the same thing may happen.
Right. And I mean, and it's hard because another reason I can't hate on it either is I don't know, maybe I just came up letting my buddies borrow games to hopefully get them into gaming. And then nobody makes money. If I'm just letting you borrow it, I'm not making money and the developer's not making money. But hopefully it shows somebody how good a developer is, and then they end up going and buying, the game themselves.
And that's why I let people borrow games all the time too. Like, I've got a couple other buddies that have some of my games right now because I'm excited for them to play it. And this person likes first-person shooters, so I gave him, and he has a PS3, so I gave him Far Cry 3 because he never played it before. I'm like, dude, you love this game, so that's going to be on his radar, and you never know, maybe down the road he'll pick up another copy of it. So, yeah, it is. It's weird. It's not going to go away for a while because, like you said, we are a society of we buy something and we can trade it later on.
Right.
Like, why do then garage sales should just be non-existent, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So, we still have that bartering system. We have something, we can give it up for something else, and somebody else wants to take it that we've already had before. That's been there since the dawn of time, pretty much. So I don't think it's going away.
Well, and you think, for a split second, I felt guilty waiting on the Order 1886 to Redbox it. But I was like, well, if I support Redbox bought, I don't know how many copies of the Order 1886.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Discount, I'm sure.
Maybe. But I've talked to people that own mom and pop game stores. They're like, I can't give you a discount because I don't get a discount even though I still buy in bulk. Now, obviously, Redbox buys really in bulk. But, that's between them and, the developer or whoever they're buying it from,
Well, I think they make relational deals, too, where they're like, we'll put your game on a giant poster in front of our Redbox locations.
Right.
If you give us a 20% discount on the bulk purchase that we're going to make. Yeah. So they get there's promotional deals done like that all the time. So.
Well, and think about that. Marketing and advertising is always a separate budget in these campaigns anyway, so you could factor that into part of your budget as well. Like, not only, yeah, you can get a discount here, but it's also it can also be discounted through your advertising and marketing because they're putting this big thing up there. So you'll pay a little bit more for that. Everybody wants a space on the end cap so that they can they can market their and advertise their games.
Perhaps another reason that they haven't been hinting at the all digital future or publicly describing it to consumers is because a lot of these companies are publicly traded companies. So if they came out there to investors and said we're going to stop selling physical titles, we're just going to go all digital, everybody would pull their stock immediately.
Yep.
They'd be like, we are not going down with you.
Nope.
I think there are enough, casual gamers out there that would basically evaluate it and say do I care enough about games to spend $60 on a digital only title that I get no stake in, basically.
Right.
I can't take it and sell it later. I can't trade it in. I can't do any of this stuff because some people
makes you feel like you don't own it.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
And some people have a gaming habit that, they buy a new game and then they trade it in towards their next new game or, something like that. Not everybody can afford to just buy every game new all the time.
Very true.
So
nice. That's a good question.
Great question, Travis. Thanks for that. Let's move on to Facebook. Paolo, when was the last time something bad happened, but you still got a laugh from it? Mine was just now. Realized my credit card was frauded for the second time in less than a year, but this time they couldn't complete the purchases because I had no available credit limit. He said, "Ha, joke's on you, Aiden Pierce." So that's awesome. Something bad happened, but you still laughed from it.
Oh man, I kind of had one yesterday. This is terrible.
Hit it.
Remember I was telling you last night, Router, that Jenny got a haircut that she really didn't like? Well, Jenny was freaking out about it because she got this haircut and it was so expensive and she had no idea how expensive it was going to be. I mean, it was dumb expensive. She called me really upset and it felt like something bad was happening. And for I was like, why am I smiling? I shouldn't be smiling. This is terrible. My wife is is hating life right now. For
you are sleeping on the couch tonight, brother.
Exactly. So it wasn't that I got a laugh from it, but it was interesting to me to hear her get so worked up because she's not an emotional girl like that. She doesn't fly off the handle and really freak out. And I was like, it was just interesting to see her, hear her be so passionate. And I understand she was hurt. She comes home, she looks great. It's not like they burned half her hair off or anything crazy like that. But it's just that she paid so much money for something that she didn't end up liking and felt like they had just no regard for what she actually wanted. And so she did show me the picture of this is what I showed them I wanted and this is what I got. And it is drastically different.
Oh no.
I mean, it's not even close. Not even close.
Sucks.
And so that's probably the last thing but obviously I still felt bad for her, but I was like, well, I shouldn't be smiling. This is awful.
I think I got a laugh out of when I had my old Land Rover, I would just basically every time I went to the dealership to get something done normal, there was always something else that was wrong with it.
Yeah.
And hence that's why I got rid of it.
You and Toby both, man. God.
Seriously, man, I will never get another Land Rover ever again because I just go in there. And so when I get a call from them, my heart goes in my stomach. I'm like, oh, here it is. How much is it going to cost me this time? And I've actually laughed before when they're like, yeah, you're going to need this. And it's another $1,000. I'm like, pah!
You're like, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I think, on a small scale, that's kind of what that happened to me.
Paul, what about
Router,
you guys?
When you buy a Land Rover, they think you're rich. That was your mistake.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I bought that thing.
He'll spend anything.
And guess what? I bought that thing used too. So
they got your money anyway.
They got it anyway.
Land Rover was like, oh no, we go get this buddy.
Oh, we got this guy. New or used, it don't matter.
Paul, what about you guys?
We're going to get him with DLC, man. Let me tell you what.
DLC, that's right.
We're making him pay for the online play.
That's right.
Paul, you guys have a dark sense of humor. There's got to be something that happened bad that you guys laughed at.
The last thing I can think of is it was so icy outside and our driveway is so steep that basically you ever been in those situations where you're sliding on the ice and you're like, well, I better not move my feet because if I do, I'm going to fall.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So I was in a situation of trying to at least break up a little bit of the ice, like right when the storm happened, and getting my feet on the driveway and then just like feeling myself slipping. So I was like, well, I better not move or else I'm going to fall. So I just let myself like kind of coast down the street. Like, well,
there goes Hall.
Krista was out there with me. I was like, well, see you in a minute.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Whatever this gravity lets up.
Yep.
Come holler.
Yeah, I'll be right back. That's so
funny.
awesome.
Good question, Paolo.
Thanks, Paolo. That was awesome. Hope everything's all right with your credit card. Sean Capri, Microsoft has, quote, surprises in store for E3. What do you think they've got up their sleeve? New dashboard, Kinect 3.0, Half-Life 3? I don't know. Everybody
Half-Life 3 would be great. That's never happening.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
I think this could be a pretty crazy E3 this year.
It's going to be all about the games.
Yeah. That's what I'm excited about, which is pretty incredible. I don't know because everybody
all about them games. No consoles. Sorry.
I think I don't think it's just Microsoft. Microsoft. Let's try that again. Microsoft. Microsoft. Everybody has surprises. Everybody's going to have surprises. So I just like to go. I just want to go and just be in the moment for all of these surprises and watch people freak out. It'll be great.
Is Microsoft the ones doing that holodeck or whatever?
Yes.
Is that Microsoft's baby?
So we might see a hologram Tupac again. I don't know.
Exactly.
That could be a surprise. Who knows?
I'm hoping for some reason when I saw the holodeck thing or whatever it is come out, I was hoping that like that. I don't know. I want either that or them to come out with this thing like, I bet y'all didn't know the Kinect could do this.
Oh, and then you're like, there you go.
Finally.
Then I have to go get one. Yeah,
exactly. Well, you have to go get one anyway.
Yeah.
They're going to bring back Milo.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, God.
Oh, you want to draw me a picture?
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, I sure do. Creepy.
Good question. Moving on. Sean Fuller. He's got like two little quick fires. Coffee or energy drinks?
Oh, gosh. Coffee.
Those energy drinks, man. Woo.
I know about those.
Driving the car or being chauffeured, parentheses, wow, that's a word I've never spelled out. Took me a couple tries to get. That's Sean. That's awesome. I like to drive, man. I'm a road warrior.
Yeah, I'll drive Miss Daisy for sure.
Drive.
Nice. Good one. Thanks, Sean. Freddie Crispin, did you guys make the intro music as well as the rest of that play during the show? Because they are awesome. Well, Freddie, I don't want to toot my own horn, but it was me.
It was all router.
It was me the whole time. Of course, my boys are awesome and extremely talented, and so you guys handled that.
Yeah, Hall does
show up
all
every day.
Exactly. Hall does all the in podcast music, and I did the theme song.
The intro.
It was funny because like the during podcast music, it was just a suggestion that Chris, who was collaborating with us for a little bit, like he made the suggestion, like you guys should have some bumpers.
Yeah, that's right.
And so I was like, I'll just throw these songs in here. These are some of my like much older like songs for licensing. So I was like, I'll just throw these in.
And they turned out to be perfect.
And now they stick. So
yeah. And I think I sent you guys, when we started this podcast, I think I sent you guys 3 songs that I had done.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And these guys picked them.
The intro, wasn't that was it a bridge or was it the chorus or I can't remember.
The beginning of the song, I think.
No, it's just the very beginning.
It was the very beginning. That's awesome.
I remember Krista and I were listening to the songs that Gabe sent, and of the songs that you sent, we heard that one, and Krista was like, that sounds like a video game podcast song.
Oh, well, that's good.
Nice.
Yes, there you go.
We got some talented boys on this crew, so I had nothing to do with it. Moving on to Twitter at Sith Nightmare. I have to catch a flight in the morning and do some time traveling over on the West Coast. What is the worst jet lag you've had? Gabe, you probably have it more than we do.
Yeah. I was going to say
there's been some rough times, that's for sure.
The funny thing is, I don't really know how jet lagged I really get. I mean, I think the worst I was Lauren and I went to Italy for our 10-year anniversary. and our flight over, we were stuck in, I think, the last row, so we can't really recline the seat backs.
Oof.
And the couple in front of us were, well, let's just say they were a little larger, and they were the ones that pulled their seat back all the way. Basically, Lauren looked like a dentist with this guy who was right in front of her because he was so far back. I had to ask him to put his seat up a little bit if he could because we had zero room.
No way.
Oh man.
I don't sleep on planes anyway. I just can't do it because you get that, either you get the head nodding down and then you hit your head on the the window seat, or whatever, or you're back and then your mouth is wide open and somebody could just like throw stuff in there. So I can't. I get uncomfortable. I can't sleep well. So I actually get really tired I don't get jet lag. I just get tired, and after like a little nap or so, if it's been a long trip, I'll be fine. But like the flight back, I was fine, and just I can adjust fairly well.
We went to Australia, and when you go that far, I mean, your whole situation is like, okay, wait, well, okay, what? All right, hey,
what day is it?
All right, body, let's regroup here. What are we doing? And so,
where are we?
Yeah, it's one of those things too. When you have to go and do a show, you just have to stay up. And that's your only option because you get there and you've like missed out on a whole day, but it's like morning. Yeah. And so if you were to get there and go to sleep, you'd jack yourself up. So
I believe that.
Yeah,
22 hours,
Australia.
Right? Isn't that
no,
flight?
it's the flight. I think it was 15 over and 16 back or something like that.
That's not terrible.
It's like, it's
not
rough.
Yeah, it's not the greatest, but
it's not
exactly
not ideal.
Exactly right.
Oh, that's awesome. Paul, you got anything?
I ain't got time for jet lag.
Ain't got time for jet lag.
Nobody got time for that. Yeah.
Ain't nobody got time for that. All right, at Delvin Cox, favorite city besides where you live?
San Diego or Portland or Seattle.
San Diego.
Yeah. Does that mean like within the U.S. or just global?
Just wherever.
I'd go London. Love that city.
Yeah, there you go.
Love that city.
When you go there, they're like, team. Oh, actually, no, I was thinking of South America. Sorry.
I was like, what the heck accent is
that? Well, hey, I mean, London's got is a melting pot of all kinds of different people, so it could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Hall, did you say one?
Honestly, I wouldn't like have a favorite necessarily. I don't think. I mean, if anything, I guess it would be just like Cincinnati. I guess.
Nice.
Cincinnati is great.
Yeah,
I like Cincinnati too. Yeah, man. Nice. Good question.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. We got a few more. At Krypton TKMC, does buying broken and poorly designed games only incentivize studios to make more of the same? Hopefully not. That's kind of the point. I think what can happen is if they're broken, that company, that studio will know how to fix it in the long run. I mean, how are you going to succeed if you don't fail first, right? I mean, that's the thing. Like, you're not going to be able to come out with something that is absolutely perfect every time. You are going to fail at things. There are things that you did not think of or that other people experience. That's all part of the game. I think that's just part of the gaming industry, is that this stuff is so complex. Developing a game is so complex. There are going to be things that happen. There are going to be things wrong. I don't think it incentivizes the studios to keep doing the same thing. Obviously, they want to create cleaner, better designed games.
Mm-hmm. If we stop buying them, though, they'd tighten it up.
Well, that's very true. But yes, but at the same time, there does need to be some accountability. If it is a blatant, just really horrible break or a very poor design thing, they should be held accountable. And the way that you do that is you don't purchase their game, and then they go bye-bye. So, it's just one of those things where this is such a tech industry, and there are so many factors that there's never going to be a perfect game right out the gate, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense. Also too, when companies release, games with bugs or broken elements, like, it really depends on how much you're enjoying the game. I mean, the Fallout 3 had a lot of broken stuff in it, but the game was enjoyable enough that I looked past those things.
Right.
So it really depends. Like, if the game is very linear, then I could see like game breaking stuff, like just ruining the game for you.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to remember that developers are only allowed to, they're only really allowed to make a certain percentage effort to getting changes made, just because the companies that publish these games, if you're fixing stuff to the point of that they're spending a lot of man hours on it, they're like, we'll just wait till number 2. Like, don't go and completely fix every concern.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to save that for number 2.
And I think that's impossible anyway. You can't go in and fix absolutely every concern, because that's very subjective, because one person's concern may not be another person's.
Well, and you might break something else in the process of fixing their one thing.
Man, that's so true.
So I don't know. It says Router said games are so complex now that many things can go wrong.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
Nice.
Ryan Hillis at RC Hillis. Gabe, if you had to pick, would it still be the Order 1886? I love that. That's so great.
It was last night. I liked it. I only played probably the first little bit, and because I hadn't watched anything, ain't nobody say nothing about lichens.
I know.
And so that caught a brother off guard. So you can hear me on there like, oh, snap.
Yep.
The first one jumps out.
Yep.
And so, I liked it so far. For some reason, like, people were complaining about the gameplay, and sure, I made a comment while I was playing. I was like, "Ooh, I kind of feel like I'm just playing Heavy Rain, where you're just kind of watching yourself play a game." But at the same time, it's, it looks so good, and like I said, like, I don't mind that style of gameplay, and I wasn't expecting anything, and so, I'm not disappointed with what I'm getting.
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nice. At Jamin Bissett, what is the craziest job you did as a kid to earn pocket money?
Pot money?
Pocket money. Pocket.
I was like, dang. I've never had pot money before, but
pocket. I never did anything crazy. The first job I got, I was 14, and I worked at a grocery store. I was a bagger, and it was good.
Yeah,
you crazy Router.
That's right. I'm just so wild. I did work at a Sam Goody for a while. That was fun.
Nice. I could see you at a Sam Goody for sure.
Yeah,
yeah, that makes sense.
It was fun.
What about you, Halsifer?
It was kind of funny. Like, when I was, I think 12, I lived in a condo complex at the time, and we were all waiting for the bus one day, and for some reason there was like a big crab apple fight.
What?
Nice.
And our bus stop was at the clubhouse of the complex. So we got like apple all over the clubhouse. Like, it was just all over the place. And as soon as we got home from school, like, there was like a big meeting. They were like, okay, we know that you guys did this, and you're going to have to clean it up, and you're going to have to do like 20 hours of landscaping each. So basically we were all subject to that. And as soon as we finished our landscaping duty, they were like, all right, you can stay on for $2 an hour if you want to.
Hey, there you go.
Like, if you want to earn a little bit of money, because they knew we were all like too young to get actual jobs.
Yeah.
Right.
So I was like, well, I guess I'm going to take this.
That's funny.
Dude,
I need the money.
Landscaping was fun. I did that for a summer, and that's when I got Lyme's disease.
Yowzers.
But that job was very rewarding, very cool. You're outside.
It was fun working outside. You're getting vitamin
really
D
fun.
the whole time. So
yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Like you're like loving it. So
Yep.
That's funny. I worked at an insurance adjusting company for a little while, and man, oh man, it's probably the worst job I've ever had.
I couldn't see you doing that. Were you doing
I was walking around burnt down houses and naming everything that got destroyed.
Oh,
That's
man.
cool.
Wow, that would be cool. I mean,
the only thing that's cool about it is that
this was a copy of the Order 1886.
Yeah. The only thing that was cool about it was that it made me really grateful for what I had.
Sure.
Because
Wow.
Because it
all
could go
day
away
you
like
just,
that.
yeah, all day you're walking around these houses that are destroyed and families live there, and I'm literally walking around with a tape recorder, like, one white Hanes t-shirt.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
4, silver spoons.
Wow.
One toy car. You know what I'm saying? And you
One
name
copy of Darius Rucker's Christmas CD.
Christmas
Exactly.
CD.
I just signed that and put it back down.
Yeah.
But it just made me really grateful, because you're like, man, this house was 2 stories and now it's 1 story, and I'm walking around it and people are displaced, and you're finding videotapes and old pictures and and all kind of stuff that's been destroyed by smoke and fire. So
wow,
that was
that's
a rough
crazy.
job. Yeah.
Oh, this is a good one. Ready? Ollie V at Oriba. If you were exactly, just go along with it. Oriba. If you were a 90s R&B group, what would your name be and what would be your hit song? Oh, this is great.
Hall, you first, baby.
Question.
Yeah.
Man. Hang on a second.
Yeah,
what do you guys think?
That's so tough.
Okay, if I was,
I wish I'd have saw that last night and I could have spent the night.
I should have probably prepped this because that could have been good. Okay, so my R&B name would be T Love.
Nice.
And my hit song would be Freak You. Oh no! It would be Freak Ya, Y-A, Freak Ya.
Oh my gosh!
Come on, T Love, Freak Ya.
That was great. That was perfect.
Coming up at the top of the hour. Let's do this.
Could our group name be Fairlight?
Fairlight.
Our record could be Channel D.
Channel D.
I have no idea what any of that means.
That sounds way more college alternative than it does.
Fairlight Channel D
from the Fairchild.
Fairchild.
I say Fair.
I was like, are you an all white R&B boy band? Is that what you do?
Yeah, right.
Fairchild.
Fairchild. Channel D.
All right.
Oh, jeez, I don't know.
Channel D-D-E-E, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
it'd have to be.
Man, I literally have nothing. I think my group would be called. I mean,
it could be a solo. It could be a solo career, Gabe, like me.
Oh,
Look at what T Love did in the 90s. Come
on. Golly,
our group could be 2 T's and a G.
There it is. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, we could be 2 T's and a G. Yeah, or G double T. Gosh,
at least come up with a song.
Till the candles go out.
Till the candles go out.
Burning candles.
Burning candles.
Burning candles.
Burning. B-U-R-N-I-N. Right. Burning.
Oh yeah, burning apostrophe. Yeah, with apostrophe at the end.
Burning candles.
Yeah, not burning. Yeah, burning candles.
Okay.
Is the name of the song. I have no idea what group in their right mind would sing that. Maybe like, Hershey Love and the chocolate thunder. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I was going to say, when I see us as an R&B group, I see us as like a Boys to Men clone.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
It would have to be.
Can you stand the rain? Gosh, that's a good question.
Thank you, everybody, for all those great questions. That was a good one this week. I love that.
Sorry we took so long on that one, Hall. That's really funny. Okay, quick question for you guys. We ask you guys a question every week. This is going to be a little subjective, but I just want to hear people's opinions. We're a year and a half into this console generation. Do we have our great games yet? I feel like we don't for some reason. I feel like we've got really good games, but I feel like we don't have our great games yet. And what is taking so long? Because it's not like imagination stops or anything like that. What do you think, Hall?
I think that the holiday 2015 we'll see our great games.
Nice.
But that's so subjective though too, because what do you mean by great games? Great games as in utilizing the next gen console? What does it look like?
I mean games that show up on those, when like the like popular entertainment channels will do like the 100 greatest games of all time, and they'll start to put like current gen games on there.
Yeah, exactly. Like Uncharted 2 like obviously broke some kind of mold to where people were like, "Oh my gosh, what the heck with this game?"
That's a great way to put it.
Mass Effect 2 did too. Like,
Mass Effect for the Xbox.
On your top 100 games lists, and they show up pretty high up there. So
that's a great way to put it. And then I continue to agree. Yeah, we're not there yet.
Yeah,
and
I think
you're
right
right.
Yet, but
I think you're right, Hall. I think this holiday is going to be huge.
Yeah, there you go. So do we have our great games of this current console generation. If you want to do the long form, go over to the forum and answer why don't we yet? Because I always wonder that, like, why don't we have, what's stopping us from having our great games? Oh, use hashtag answer MTTG. Thank you guys so much for listening. Want to get some of these voicemails back in the show? You can give us a call at 702-703-MTTG. I got to talk to Chalfie this week. It was awesome. Fun kicking it with him and just seeing what's going on there in the LBC. So shout out to Chalfie. Yes, I'm your boy Gabe Patillo. That is Tim Router. That is Timothy Hall. And we are married to the games, and we are up out this thing. Peace!